All right, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us again. I'm here today to walk you through the fundamentals of what goes into designing onboarding experiences, specifically for fintech. So, we would be capturing some of the fintech examples today to generally understand how onboarding experiences are designed. So, welcome again. So before we get started, here's a little bit about who we are. Ionix is our parent company, and it is a software development company. And we specialize in fintech, trading, and brokerage solutions. So we've built a lot of softwares for a number of our clients. Studio IX is a design studio which is a part of Ionix. We recently launched the studio, and we are very excited about it. I am Chippy Dayak and I head the studio. And we went from being a design team within the company for about 5+ years and to a full fledged studio this year. And we are very thrilled about it. All right, let's get started on onboarding. Now, let's begin with why onboarding is so important. We cannot emphasize more on this. We advise our clients to pay attention to onboarding a lot because it sets the tone for how your users or customers are going to perceive you as a business. It's like building a relationship. It's so foundational. You take it little by little and build that relationship with your customers, and you build that relationship with a lot of your customers. So making that first impression is very important. Second is establishing your brand at the earliest possible stage is very essential. Being empathetic towards your customers' needs. How can they become your loyal customers otherwise? Laying that foundation for a long term relationship is very important. And then finally, how can they become your brand advocate? Now, these things can be very surely established during the onboarding stage itself. Now, a well designed onboarding process creates a positive initial impression. I've already said that a couple of times. Yes, it leads to a favorable perception of your brand. Conversely, a poorly designed onboarding process may convey a lack of attention to detail or disregard for the user's need. It can negatively impact your brand perception right from the onset. It is essential to give your users all the information that they need and give it to them in smaller chunks so that they can assimilate them at a comfortable pace. This aids easy and good decision making. When decision making seems effortless, your users will develop a comfort with your business. Your business becomes an ally rather than a tool. Let's say for wealth management, you want your platform to be an ally rather than a tool. Then your relationships are built better. Now here, our team picked a example. Acons is a micro investment app. It emphasizes its brand values of financial literacy, security, and empowerment in its onboarding process. Acon communicates its commitment to helping users grow their wealth effortlessly. They use reassuring language and security prompts throughout the onboarding journey. It reinforces the company's dedication to protecting the user's financial information. Even when they are using a third party service, for example, over here, they are showcasing some kind of accountability by vouching for their third party tools as well. All of these things are happening in the onboarding process. Now, the users are most likely to perceive this company as a reliable and trustworthy platform for achieving their financial goals. How do we relate to people? Some of the best conversations we've had with people is when we are made to feel like the other person understands us, when we feel heard. Onboarding is the best place to establish that feeling for your users. For example, look at the step, how the step is worded in Acons. These don't apply to most, but if they apply to you, let us know. That simply means your unique needs will be taken care of. This is a better way of establishing trust than merely asking to track permissions for some kind of a personalized service in a very clinical way. So you adding that, human dialogue to your onboarding experience makes a lot of difference. A well executed onboarding design makes it easy for users to familiarize themselves with your product or your service, your platform, whatever it is. Now, your users begin to derive value from it quickly. They start experiencing its benefits right away. What do you think it happens when you do that? User satisfaction goes up. And with higher user satisfaction comes a sense of trust and loyalty towards your brand. Now let's consider the flip side. What happens when the user onboarding process is frustrating and confusing? When users struggle to understand how to use your product or service, or worse, encounter roadblocks that prevent them from even getting started, it leads to user dissatisfaction. And that dissatisfaction can quickly snowball into a negative perception of your brand. And it doesn't take too long. You know by now, a complete buy in has happened only when the users begin to suggest your product or service to their friends and family, by word of mouth mostly. How do we leverage the onboarding process to encourage users to spread the word about your platform? Of course, there are, referral programs and things like that that you can design. So integrating a referral program into the onboarding journey is one way of doing it. So one of our customers have created a program where groups of people can share and inspire each other to learn and invest. By turning onboarding into a social experience, they are not only enhancing our user experience and user engagement, but also amplifying the brand's reach through positive word of mouth. All right, now, great onboarding should pave way for customer retention in the long run. There are top four suggestions that we'd like to share with you that lays the foundation for retention in the future. First is simplify, simplify, and simplify. Make it your mantra. Simplify it as much as possible. Personalize as much as you can. And communicate the value you offer very clearly and simply. Keep it interactive and engage your users in tasks that are motivating to do. Now, here is an example of how a registration process is simplified, minimizing the number of steps required to create an account. The longer it takes, the, the drop-off rates are going to increase. Now, offer multiple sign-up options like email, social media login, or biometric authentication for added convenience. Whichever works for them, they feel like they have a choice and they can pick the easiest choice that suits them. For example, Stripe offers a streamlined registration process for businesses to set up payment processing. It requires only essential information upfront while allowing user to complete additional verification step later. So this way you're like chunking the requirement. So make it easier for your user to onboard, and whatever is absolutely essential for regulatory purposes, they can do it later. But they get a head start with you. Personalization, this is simple and straightforward. I know there is a lot of chatter about how you can personalize, products and services for your users. Uh, Tailor the onboarding experience based on users' financial goals, preferences, and previous interactions with the platform. Now, provide personalized recommendations and insights to guide users in setting up their accounts and using platform features effectively. A lot of users in very complex financial applications, they don't get to use all the features effectively. And this is an area in which you can play around and enable the users use features that benefits them the most. Now, simpler and clearer the value proposition is, the higher the chances of your customers investing time and effort in doing business with you. Here are some examples. So there's a um, app called the 12% Club in India that clearly states that its users will earn an interest of 12%. Just invest and earn 12%. It's very simple, and that's the value you get. And a calculator is another way of doing it, where the users can play with the variables and check for themselves as to what they get. Now, if some of your users are interested in playing around with it, it sort of gives them that kind of an engagement as well. But assess your users. Whom are you catering to? Simple gamifications. Fintech platforms don't have to be very serious all the time. Appropriate gamified features into the onboarding experience itself can make it engaging and enjoyable for the users. Reward users for completing onboarding tasks or reaching milestones. For example, sometimes we have long drawn KYC processes, and it becomes very frustrating for the users. So you can give them certain reward points, or create certain reward systems that enables them to finish these milestones and celebrate those milestones, and it should go beyond congratulations. um, Customizing what they want to see on the dashboard is also a way of getting them to invest time and effort in a meaningful way. They don't want to see all the data in there. They want to see what is relevant to them. So keeping the dashboard customizable is also a good way to engage the user in simple ways. Yes, it is essential to keep the task as simple and as easy as possible while doing gamifications. Behavioral nudges are subtle cues or prompts designed to influence users' decisions and behaviors in a particular direction. When applied effectively during a fintech app onboarding, these nudges can encourage users to take desired actions, complete key tasks, and engage with the app more effectively. While there are many behavioral nudges, behavior science is budding, and a lot of people are talking about how you can behaviorally engineer your platform and your business. We would like to throw light on these four for new gen fintech. One is the principle of anchoring. Anchoring is when users are provided with a stable ground for decision making. Now, you can do this by providing users with reference points or benchmarks to anchor their decisions and actions during onboarding. You can also give them comparative data or industry standards to frame the benefits of using the app in a favorable light. This can really work in your favor. Loss aversion. This is has been a controversial nudge, but many people seem to have used this in effective ways. Loss aversion is nothing but telling the user what are you missing, what are they missing, and it's as old as time. This is usually done with language or visuals that emphasize the consequences of inaction or delay. Don't miss out on exclusive rewards, or act now to secure your financial future, and things like that. So we ask our customers to use it with care. When a brand repeatedly uses this nudge, it runs the risk of attracting short term goals, and the brand becomes associated with short term benefits rather than a long term ally. So we recommend to use this sparingly for special events, or when you're giving a special offer that is limited. That's fine. But if you do that often, then there is a problem. Now, everyone needs to feel like they are making progress. It's a great feeling, and it's a very basic human need as well. Now, showing users how many steps they have completed and how many are remaining is the simplest way to generate that feeling of progress. You can also use encouraging language like celebrating their progress as well. Now, previously in loss aversion, we get to people to operate out of fear, but here we get people to operate out of desire to make progress. That makes a world of a difference. So take the judgment call based on what you have to offer at that moment as a business. Now here, preset options makes decision making easier for users. So there are these default settings that you can do. This here is something that we've done for our customers as well. Setting up automatic savings or investment plans, for example, as a default option during onboarding. Of course, the ability for users to adjust settings or opt out if desired needs to be provided. That brings us to the end of behavioral, not just for onboarding today. All right, so I'd like to share something with you at the end of this webinar. Our design studio was launched early this month, and we are very, very excited about it. And we are also announcing several exciting offers this month and the next. Now, in the light of onboarding, we have some special offers for new gen fintech companies at very exciting prices. Do get in touch with us or do schedule a call with us to avail these offers. You can get your onboarding design reviewed and analyzed or redesigned in just 5 working days. All you need to do is bring your design, if you have an existing design, for a discussion with one of our expert designers, and they will help you redesign your onboarding experience with all the principles that we have. Now, our team will be sending you a link. I think you will receive an email, and you can pick a time that works for you. We will analyze your product. If you have an existing design, we will take a deep dive and check for any gaps and provide you with suggestions. And if it's required, we will do a redesign. That is, we'll send you a Figma prototype of the new design in just 5 working days. The link should be there in your email, and you can also write to us if you have any other questions. Otherwise, the easiest way to get in touch with us is just to schedule a call. There's a Calendly link on the email. You can just do that. With that, thank you for joining us today. We would like to bring more and more webinars on design fundamentals for fintech, and I hope you join us in the future as well. Thank you again. Have a great day.